Today's guest, Steph Wheezy, is someone who really has mastered the art of going viral. He has over 400 million views now, I believe, on Facebook, and a ton of views on other platforms as well. And he really has a formula for getting his videos to go viral on social media. And most people know him for that, for being an influencer. But what a lot of people don't know is that Steph is also a very savvy entrepreneur. He owns multiple businesses, and he also does a lot of work and has emerged as a leader in his community as well, especially with organizations like Black Tech Talent, which he helped found, which is providing access to tech jobs here in the Minneapolis and St. Paul community. And he was also really early to Web3. And so our conversation today, really goes into social media, but also, the crypto space and some of the emerging opportunities for people who are just getting started today, and how you, if you're getting started today, could go about starting to experiment and take advantage of opportunities for success on social media. Cool. Well, I got Steph Wheezy here today on the podcast, Mr. Viral, Mr. Social Media, but really someone that I've followed for a long time here in Minneapolis, and I've definitely seen you kind of come up and ascend in the social media realm and in the business realm, and really appreciate the leadership that you provide in this community, and inspiration, the comedy, and all the above. So appreciate you being on the podcast today.
Appreciate you for having me, man. My man.
So I really, I remember the first thing I encountered, I think, from your brand was like a few years ago. It was like, I don't remember what the skit was, but it was like you and Kwame in your apartment. I think it was some like prank on some girl got mad at you or something, and I think you set it up and it went viral. Yeah. So I remember seeing your videos, and I was like, okay, this dude's funny. But then in this last year, like as I've got to know you, like you're starting businesses, you're part owner of Black Tech Talent, like you're really, really putting yourself out there in the community. How did you get started in social media, and how do you see yourself evolving as an influencer, not just as an influencer though, as a leader?
Got you. So how I got into social media was funny, because I was always a basketball player, so I grew up playing basketball. Always was funny, that funny kid, and I remember just seeing these skits, and I was like, it was the back when Vine was going on.
Yeah. I
was looking at Vine, and I'm like seeing these skits that were like sort of watered down, not to be hating, but I was like, man, I'm funnier than these people that I'm watching, the ideas I have, and I was interested in, and I started it, and I was actually with this guy out in, his name's B-Dot. He's really big on social media platforms in the basketball world. We was both at this pro camp. And he was actually going viral at the time, so he just got his wave. Like he had one Vine that was like doing like millions and millions of views, aka loops at the time. And me and him both got picked up to go and play on this overseas traveling team. We both was the like 10 players that got chosen to go play in Australia. And pretty much me and him were on the same team. We won a championship. We hit it off from there, and then he was going viral, like I said, and then he said, man, you should start the videos. Yeah. Because I was funny just naturally, He was like, man, get on this. He's like, I'm the plug. Pretty much he
put you on.
Put me on. Yeah, he put me on and was like, and I already wanted to do it. And, I knew I was funny, and I did a couple skits with him, and he reposted them, and, my videos started picking up. So that's pretty much how it went, man. And from there, it was history, because after I went viral once, I was like, hey, man, people looking at me like, man, you went viral. So now I was like, sort of put that jacket on, like, yeah, I'm about to, this is my lane now. I'm creating content.
What was it? Was there like a moment when you're like, this is my thing, I'm doing this. This is like I can actually make a living off this?
Yeah, it was, because I started getting a lot of followers like right when I jumped in the game, because all it takes is one. Like, It's like TikTok now. Once you put out one like a super viral, you pretty much got that following, and from there, they want to see more, and people was cracking up, and I always been funny, so it's not like I just started trying to be funny. I was always comical growing up,
right?
And once I seen that I could start making money from it, because that's when I was like, hey, this is a job now. I'm taking this real serious. At first, it was just playing around with it. I liked doing it, but then I started, I went out to LA for this Vine meetup, and it was a different energy. People were really like papered up, and they were getting them brand deals, and you know, all of this. They're getting paid pretty much.
Right.
So me going out to LA opened my eyes to, hey, this is a money opportunity. You know, I've been a hustler my whole life, so I'm like, this is what I want to do now. You know, I want to get in this field.
That's what's
That's
up.
what happened.
Yeah, so as you kind of evolved, you know, over the last year or so, it seems like you're kind of branching out yourself too as an entrepreneur, not just as a content creator. You know, what are the biggest projects that you're involved in or excited about right now?
I'm actually working on this. You know, like the companies that I'm involved in. You know, Black Tech Talent.
Yep.
That's major for me. My shoe business, but also, you know, I'm really focused on this. Like, you know, I like to put people on, like, get people involved, and I see, like, with my platform and everything that I've learned throughout these years, I want to get something where everyone can be involved, where their strengths is what they do already. So I'm coming up with like a show, like similar to what 50 Cent is doing on the Stars Network and whatnot. And you see how he's branching off with Power, and he got everything else. Like, that's what I'm focused on right now. And I feel that, you know, everybody has a story, as you can see, just like how 50's creating it. And that's what I'm starting now. I'm going head in with that.
Like a full production.
Yeah. And I'm learning. This is the thing, because I'm always like, you know, being around you, I learn a lot. Being around just everybody, I'm a sponge, so I'm soaking up the game as I go. You know, like, I came from a really rough side, south side Minneapolis, you know, no leadership, no guidance, no nothing. I was like out there on my own, you know, no father figure. But, you know, you like, things happen in my life, and I just learn from my mistakes, and I know what I don't want to do, and I know what I do want to do, and I know, like, growing up in the community that I was in, I see that there's a lack of leadership, a lack of a lot of things, and I see that, like, how can we change that? You know, how can I change that? What can I do to contribute? And then I see that with all my followers, people are looking at me as a success, I would say, you know, because a lot of people know me from that same coming up, just trying to figure it out, bad kid, but now it's like, I think I'm just coming into a path of my own where I can help others out, and with them just being themselves. And I feel like we're all in the same boat, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm a risk taker. I'm reading this book right now, The Alchemist, audio book, and I'm into it, like, probably like a few chapters, but it's really deep, and I see myself in that book. Like, man,
it's a really good book.
I always explore. I was always that one to take that leap. A lot of people wouldn't go out of town. I was always like, I need to see what's out there, you know.
One of the most profound things that I think I've ever heard you say, I don't know if you were speaking to me or to Tayo, I think we were having a conversation, and you said, you know, I think it was your birthday last year in Miami, and you brought a ton of people down there, and I think you said something along the lines of, like, I just, you know, I wanted to get, you know, some of my people, you know, my friends, out of their city, right, to a new environment, and just, like, you know, expand their minds. And I think you were talking about, you know, how that's impacted you, right, with basketball and traveling. You know, talk a little bit about that, and you know, how do you get people out of their environment or transcend their environment? Yeah,
and like you said, like, getting out is important, man. And I remember, like, you know, back in the day, and it all started, I want to say, from basketball. I was playing basketball, you know, just inner city. It was nothing major. I thought I was good. I was good amongst my peers, and then one time, and I know you know PJ, right?
Yep.
I was in this. It was at a local park, you know, and they were like, "Hey, everybody got to leave the gym. There's a trial, a real trial, like an AAU. So it's a traveling basketball." And I remember I got into the trial, and the players were really, really good, you know. And PJ's dad picked me up. He was like, "Man, I see the potential." So I thought I was good. Wasn't that good. I was good. But he seen the potential in me, and I got picked up on the team.
Yeah.
So now I'm the weakest dude on the team. You know what I'm saying? And we went out of town, 7th grade. I remember the first AAU time I traveled. And a guy, I remember his name, Jerry Smith, too. He actually did pretty good, had a good college career. I know he played professional somewhere. Long story short, he dunks the ball at 7th grade, the first game we played AAU. So now my mindset is everything scratched of me being good. So with that experience, I came back to Minnesota and I trained different. I worked out on a whole nother level. I'm not just going to the park when it's open. I'm working on my game when the park's closed. So it's very important to see new things, you know what I'm saying, and the exposure to new things. And that's why I do that. Like, I bring a lot of my friends different places, show them different things to show them. Like, it's way bigger than what you know and what you see. Because if that's all you know and all you see, that's all you're going to know. So just expanding their mind is important to me, man. That changed my life. And that little experience from then on out, I was always like, all right, there's levels to this in life in general. And still to this day, I'm still doing it. I'll still go out and meet people. I'm still like, and it's a discomfort thing, because a lot of the times, for example, you know, I went to an event last week, and it was like, I was like lost. I didn't know the words. You know, a lot of words that were being said, and it seemed like everybody in the room did. But I love that because it's opening my mind.
Andrew Yang.
Yeah, Andrew Yang.
He was getting pretty technical with his political stuff.
Yeah, see, and that's like dope to me, because I'm learning, you know, and I'm seeing it and I'm absorbing it, and it makes me want to learn more about it.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And so, talking about that event, actually, really dope event. We were both down in Miami at Andrew Yang's private forward party events, and I know we were talking a little bit about Web3, and I know you were down there for Bitcoin 2022 a little bit, and I know you're in the crypto space. You know, I gotta ask, like, what is Web3 to you?
Web3 to me is decentralized. Like, I know this was explained to me, but in my mind, Web3 is a decentralized internet. So pretty much like an internet where your information is safe, but it's not even like, it's not all out there. So your moves aren't tracked and everything. So to sum it up, that's what Web3 is to me. But I'm still a little confused. I know you explained it to me, and I gave you a lot of head nods and yes. I really only understood 10% of it. Yeah. So that's what Web3 is to me.
No, that's like, I mean, the decentralized networks, that's like the key thing. But it's funny because like so many people have such a different conception of what it is. But I know you're really pushing like new technology, emerging technology, and especially with, you know, groups like Black Tech Talent, which is doing some incredible stuff in this community. How'd you get involved in Black Tech Talent, and what's the story there? It's
interesting. So I was at an event. I got introduced to Mike Jackson, the CEO of Black Tech Talent, from a friend. We did at a yacht party. You know, I just hosted, and moving forward, Nipsey Hussle was coming in town, and that was my favorite artist. He still is. I was, pretty much he had a speaking engagement, and it was talking about tech. You know, it's called Bitcoin, and he was just pretty much talking about how he used technology to advance his career, and how he's utilizing it, and how like everybody's in the tech. Literally, if you have an iPhone, you know you're in the tech. And he was just explaining it, but pretty much how that happened is I came there, and Mike actually told me to come. You know, he was like, "Yeah, Nipsey's coming," and that was my favorite rapper, like I said. But I went there, and I seen Nipsey speak and talking about technology and everything, and that's how me and him kicked it off. And he was he has a app. You know, he was in the tech, and he was just pretty much telling me, you know, like, you're in the tech, because I was like, nah, man, this is too smart. Like, I didn't know. Like, I was like, I'm not no tech dude. He's like, dog, you in the tech, bro. You got followers. You're a content creator. Like, you're using tech right now. And that's pretty much how we kicked it off. And then, you know, he was like, you know, he had an idea of Black Tech Talent, and got us together, our team together, and we've been rolling and killing it ever since.
What's so you guys really are pushing for equity and representation in the tech space, which I think is insanely important. You know, what does that look like to you, right? What is Black Tech Talent? What is a more equitable, technology space, maybe specifically in Minneapolis, look like to you?
Are you saying as far as like
what is your vision or goal for where Black Tech Talent is taking kind of representation in technology?
Man, we're really, I think we're we're just utilizing it in a way of being innovative with we're taking what's already out there. For example, like our app that we have.
Yep.
It's similar to like Tinder. You know, a lot of people know Tinder, the dating app. And as far as like employers, employees, you know, it's an easy way to connect for us. You know what I'm saying? So we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just adding to it and connecting it. And the way we're doing it, I feel is just so dope. And we're utilizing tech to push it even more. So I feel, yeah, that's the way. We all brakes. I mean, we all gas on it. I said brakes. We all gas on it, man. It's dope to have like I said, the CEO like Mike, man. He's really got a big vision for it, and I'm just like a good player to it. It's like we have an all-star team.
Yeah.
Not an all-star team. We have a good team, and everybody's perfecting their role. And we're learning as we go as well. And he's like, all right, I got you on this. I got you on the social media side. And that's where my expertise is. And we just steadily coming up with good ways to push it out there and bridging the gaps between the, blacks and tech.
No, that's dope. Yeah, going back to, you mentioned social media. I know you got big on Facebook and Instagram, and now you just hit 100K on TikTok, right?
Yeah. TikTok. I ain't gonna lie. TikTok. I really could have hit 100K. I'm not exaggerating. The first week that I got on TikTok, I had a viral video that I literally made it. Went to sleep, woke up. I had 60,000 followers. But I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I'm like, TikTok wasn't like paying at the time, so I'm like, and it's so easy to do for me, like, because it's just Vine again for me, the quick videos, and I can just do that like in my sleep. But yeah, what was the question again?
I don't think there was a question.
Oh yeah,
I just said social media.
Yeah. Oh my bad. Yeah, that's how my brain works, man. That social media mind.
You do. I mean, I've seen you said like, hey, I got an idea. This is going to be a viral video, and then like literally, it's a viral video, and the first time you did, I think you shared an idea of something. I was like wearing an outfit that someone called me G-Eazy. Let's make a video, and then you made it and got a bunch of views on your page.
And that's how it goes, man. Like the ideas, as soon as they pop up, I just act on them, and that's a big part of a part of it for me. Like I'm not afraid to fail. Like I'm not afraid to put the content out there and it doesn't do any views. Like people are. That's what I learned talking to several people about, like them wanting to start a social media, starting a YouTube. And the biggest thing is holding back is the fear of failure. And that's one thing that I'm not, because I'm like, hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I'm putting this video out there. If it doesn't do anything, oh well, I'm on to the next idea. That doesn't do nothing, I'm on to the next idea. But I'm to a point now where I pretty much know how it goes. Like, this is viral type content. That's why TikTok, I'm just starting a TikTok right now. I just touched 100,000 followers. Mark my words, give me like a month, I'll have 200K, because now I'm going to start putting out content. Yeah. I'm about to just start flooding it. And it's really, I'm going to let the boys go past. Or it don't matter. It's like, it's I've done it so many times that I know what people want to see. Yeah. And that's a good and a bad thing, because like we were saying, as far as like leadership and everything, I want to, even though I can do that, I want to use my influence in a good way. So now I'm like, dang, everybody's watching my stuff, because the numbers are, I really don't matter. It's like the internet. But when people are coming up to me all the time now, like, you're Steph Wheezy, I'm like, dang, people are really paying attention to me. And with that, I feel it comes responsibility. It's like, all right, now you have a platform. Now just don't put out trash content. That's what I feel like it's a good thing for me opening businesses, because now people are seeing the transition, like you say. Like, hey, I'm not just here. And then when I get to interviews like this, I can actually tell them what I do. Right. Like these videos I make is clear. It's just content. I'm marketing. It's just, I'm creating something that they're going to talk about. And this is why my videos do so well.
Yeah, because I mean, you in the last year or so, like you put out a lot of content about. I mean, you put out a lot of funny content, but you put out a lot of like Instagram stories and stuff about your business and being an entrepreneur and personal growth stuff. Books you're reading and stuff like that too. So, I've definitely seen that evolution.
Yeah, it's a part of that journey, man. You gotta constantly, even like with like just being known so much, you know. And it's more of an eye on me now.
What's it like being a social media influencer?
Man, it's pretty cool. It's fun. It's fun just to go places and people to recognize me, and you know, just like last night, it was someone that recognized me in front of the line and went back like, "You really Steph Weezy?" The excitement that people have, and I'm like, "Dang, I'm really doing something," you know. And in my mind, I don't feel like I'm doing enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can do 10 times more. But that's the difference between a lot of. I was just watching something, but long story short, man, it's a good. I feel good about it.
So for someone who's like trying to start, you know, maybe start their business, start their content channel, what advice do you have for people, you know, just trying to do something on social media right now, but they don't really know how to start?
Just start. That's my biggest thing. Like I said prior, a lot of people they have fear of failure. You don't need an expensive camera. You don't need an expensive mic. Use your phone. I create all my content on my iPhone. So if you have a phone, just start. And posting, you can literally download YouTube, download all of these apps directly to your phone and upload directly from your phone there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Everything like comes with time. So when you're putting out stuff, you'll get feedback from people. You'll see it like, oh, I could have did this better. Well, my thing is just start. Start today.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you all have an idea like I should start this, start today. And then there's YouTube University. Technology is right there for you. Anything you need to know how to start a YouTube channel, just start it. You know, and you'll learn along the way. Like even me, I wasn't making money at first. I'm learning how to make money from this. I'm learning how to use my likeness and start a business. I'm learning how to run a business. You know, everything I'm jumping in head first. I fail before I win. So that's my biggest advice, man. Just start it. Don't worry about if no one's going to view it. You know, everybody at the end of the day starts with zero, everything. And that's up to you to figure out how to grow that channel, you know, network and look things up on YouTube. You know, how to get more of a following, how to, you know, that's the search engine that helps me anytime I'm stuck. But I do love, like, internet's cool, but I do love, like, face-to-face. But anytime I'm stuck, I go to the internet, how to do this. Because there's no better experience than real-life experience. That's how I personally feel about that.
Right, it's like the internet, social media. Yeah. It's a cool tool, but it doesn't replace the metaverse. Doesn't replace life.
Yeah, it's a cool tool, but don't get too wrapped into it because your mind is so powerful. You can get to overthinking everything, like how to do this, like how to act in a room. But people will know that it's not organic. You get what I'm saying? So when you go in there, you just act as, you know, be you, and that's what I mean by.
Yeah, that's like with what you were saying earlier about, you know, expanding your mind and your horizons too. Like you can get stuck in an environment on social media too that's just put you in a bubble and
oh my god,
like,
that's so.
You see that with people that you work with or follow.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of people get wrapped up into that world, and that's one thing that I explained to even my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, hey, this is not real life. You know, this is entertainment. We post and not leave out of there. This is real life. One time we were talking. She was like, you didn't compliment my picture or something, but I'm constantly complimenting, like, baby, you're looking so good, you're beautiful, you know, like throughout the day. But then I didn't comment on her picture, and I'm like, whoa, baby, we gotta backtrack. This is the internet, you know. I'm talking to you, like this is real life, and you gotta separate it because it's dragging people in all types of places. Yeah, I even get caught up in it sometimes. Like, you know, like from getting up in the morning, sometimes I'll just grab my phone before I do anything. I'm like, all right, I need to take a break off this device. And like you said, it's just a tool. You have to remind yourself that it's just a tool. You know, it's not your life.
100%. So you said, you know, morning looking at the phone. I mean, I found myself doing that all the time and have to catch myself. But for me, I try to stick to, I don't always stick to it, but I try to stick to a routine, try to meditate, try to do a few things in the morning really to start my day off. Do you have any kind of routine or any, you know, structured way that you go about, you know, your day?
It's right now, it's currently grabbing that phone right away, stay in the bed for about 30 minutes, and then I get up and go on about my life. But I always like to, like, working out. Like what I just replaced is reading now. So I'm incorporating all these things, and it's just knowing yourself too. And I went back to because lately, after starting a business and doing my social media, I'm just like, I have a lot of time, so that isn't it. But I go back to the roots of things. Like basketball is my sanctuary. So my therapy. A lot of people have different things they do, but me going to that gym and just playing basketball really just relieves a lot of stress for me. And when I stopped going to the gym and being active like that, I felt a lot of stress coming in, and now me just getting back into the gym, I'm like, hey, this was my place of peace. So I feel you need that break, or wherever you go into, whether it's meditating, whatever your thing is. I wouldn't say, drinking or turning to any substances. I don't feel that's a good thing to go to. But, go to your place of peace, and basketball is mine. So I'm getting back up, getting into the gym, and I'm seeing, like, first identifying that I have a problem with getting my phone. Because it's like an addiction. It's really tough. But, I'm caught up in it, and I'm trying to slowly remove myself from that. And
it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. No, I mean, I definitely.
Yeah, so it's definitely basketball though. I'm getting up in the morning. I'm going to the gym and I'm working out and then working out. So hooping and working out.
Do you find that you're more creative, in your content or your businesses, when you do spend that time, getting in that flow?
Yeah, I'm way more creative. I get more. I have more energy. So I highly recommend that exercising. Exercising and it goes back to like even me reading about it. You got to stay sharp, and when I listen to like audio books and just reading books, it reminds me of things like that. Like exercising is important, praying is important, all these things, manifesting things, like writing stuff down. All of these are things that I already know from reading in the past, and it just reminds me like, dang, that's what I've been slacking on. And then I get to it. I get back to the gym and I feel like more creative. Then I get around people. That's one thing with me. Like once I get around people, like I can have no ideas. Then I get around people, different energies, different things being said. Then now all of a sudden I got 100 ideas. Like, yeah, we can do this. And then once I'm in the flow of it, then it's like a snowball effect. I could literally, it's like how a rapper goes or a musician goes into the studio. Once you're in the flow of things, you can just keep going.
Yep. Yeah, you mentioned prayer and manifestation, and this might be a weird thing to say, but I think it should be said. So like I definitely resonate with a lot of stuff that you post on your Instagram story, and I think it's funny, but I think like people build like really weird intimate connections. Like if you resonate with what people are posting every day, it's like I actually built like some relationships like purely based on the fact that we're interacting with each other's stories, but weird social media thing. But I wanted to,
No, keep going.
I wanted to ask, how does spirituality fit into your life, and like, what is your concept of spirituality, and are you a spiritual person?
Yeah, it's funny because man, before like just growing up, man, I dealt with so much, and I was like, I lacked a lot of faith. But I always had a good heart, that's what I learned about myself. I always had good intentions, a good heart. Just even in the worst environments, I still did right, at the end of the day. And my mom was going to church a lot before she passed away. And throughout my whole life, just with basketball and everything, I see that I truly feel I have a bigger purpose. And I know that through everything that I was brought through, it was God. And more like the more how do I say this? The more I'm elevating, the more I know that God's real and this is very important, and He's bringing me along the way. And everything that I went through in life was just a part of it, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a part of your journey, and I'm just connected way more to God. I pray all the time now. Every morning I'm just thanking God. I give glory to God. I'm like, man, I know this is you. You're doing all of this. Because it was at one point where literally I remember I was at my breaking point. It was a point in my life where I was just like, man, what more are you, what's up, God? And it was like I was there at the breaking point. And then everything changed. It was like one breakthrough, and then it was just like after another. But then it was so much of like, man, I'm being good. Like, am I not supposed, you know?
Right.
And then the breakthrough happened for me, and everything that I prayed for, it was there. And even things that I thought I wanted that wasn't good for me, I was like, dang, but it taught me something.
Right.
Prior. So as I'm going on my journey, I'm just learning, like, wow, everything is a part of your journey in life.
Yeah, it's like all roads lead back to God.
All roads lead back to God. And it's like some things that look like they're not a blessing, they're a blessing. You know, it's like, that was a blessing for you not to, that was a blessing for me not to take this, you know, not to go down this path of basketball, you know. I feel like what I'm doing now is more impactful than me just putting a ball in a hoop.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to realize in the moment too.
Yeah.
It's like everything looks good in the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that awareness, you know, long term is key. So thinking about, you know, kind of wrapping up here, thinking about Minneapolis, right? And you know, you mentioned growing up in North Minneapolis, and I know it's
South Side.
Yeah. Excuse me.
No, it's all good. No.
South Side. And you know, you're obviously like a really respected leader in this community, and you know, everyone here knows you, and you're starting to have, you know, a much bigger impact than, you know, just being a social media influencer. Obviously, you know, with everything that you're doing. I want to ask, where do you see Minneapolis in 10 years? Like, what is your vision for this city?
I feel that the vision for the city, I feel we're going in the right direction. I feel that people are coming together. We're being more connected, even on the political side. You know, I feel there's more leaders, or more people at least coming together to see that, hey, we have a problem and it needs to be solved. And how can people be involved in this change? What can you add instead of just sitting back? And I see where my value comes in as a leader. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is where I can start. You know, I get around politics and stuff and I get confused, but I'm like, hey man, that's not your field. This is not what you expertise in. I can go and touch somebody that's doing, you know, is in active gang members, that's been in shootouts, and they'll listen to me, opposed to somebody that's never, you know what I'm saying, been in that, and they can, but I can connect with those people. And it's like, not like it's going to change overnight, but I can get them involved. For example, like I was saying with getting them into a show, just introducing them to how we're going to change and showing both sides of the ball, you know. But I feel like in 10 years, man, we're going to be in a great place, just all around, when it comes to this. Like, I truly see people stepping up, even people that I've been with. We're talking about, you know, nonprofits, but really doing it for the right reason. You know, we're really in tune and trying to get that, how do I say, the community together, you know?
Yeah, no, and it's, I mean, beautiful the way you say that.
That was a blessing for you not to, that was a blessing for me not to take this, you know, not to go down this path of basketball, you know? I feel like what I'm doing now is more impactful than me just putting a ball in a hoop.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing to realize in the moment too.
Yeah.
It's like everything looks good in the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that awareness, you know, long term is key. So thinking about, you know, kind of wrapping up here, thinking about Minneapolis, right? And you know, you mentioned growing up in North Minneapolis, and I know it's
South Side.
South Side,
Yeah.
excuse me.
No, it's all good. No.
South Side. And you know, you're obviously like a really respected leader in this community, and you know, everyone here knows you, and you're starting to have, you know, a much bigger impact than, you know, just being a social media influencer. Obviously, you know, with everything that you're doing. I want to ask, where do you see Minneapolis in 10 years? Like, what is your vision for this city?
I feel that the vision for the city, I feel we're going in the right direction. I feel that people are coming together. We're being more connected, even on the political side. You know, I feel there's more leaders, or more people at least coming together to see that, hey, we have a problem and it needs to be solved. and how can people be involved in this change? What can you add instead of just sitting back? And I see where my value comes in as a leader. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is where I can start. You know, I get around politics and stuff and I get confused, but I'm like, hey man, that's not your field. This is not what you expertise in. I can go and touch somebody that's doing, you know, is in active gang members that's been in shootouts, and they'll listen to me, opposed to somebody that's never, you know what I'm saying, been in that, and they can, but I can connect with those people. And it's like, not like it's going to change overnight, but I can get them involved. For example, like I was saying with getting them into a show, just introducing them to how we're going to change and showing both sides of the ball, you know. But I feel like in 10 years, man, we're going to be in a great place, just all around when it comes to this. Like, I truly see people stepping up, even people that I've been with. We're talking about, you know, nonprofits, but really doing it for the right reason. You know, we're really in tune and trying to get that, how do I say, the community together, you know?
Yeah, no, and it's, I mean, beautiful the way you say that. And before I really, you know, started living and interacting with the community of Minneapolis, like I grew up, you know, at St. Paul, but I was, you know, I was in private schools and stuff. I played basketball, so I had, you know, friends that like lived in this community, but I didn't really realize, you know, that I was living in a completely different reality. You know, even just a few miles away than a lot of my friends who were playing basketball were living in North Minneapolis, for example. And so the fact, I think people discount like the fact that, you know, a leader like you know, you're not the traditional like politician or tech entrepreneur or whatever, but I think like you have as much, if not more, impacts than, you know, a lot of the people that you know, are considered like the mayor and a lot of, you know, people that are like the traditional leaders, right? Like I think it's important for a city to understand that we need like every element, every aspect of our city, of our ecosystem, to be uplifted if any one of us individually is going to be uplifted. And we need leaders in every single community to come together, right?
I totally agree with that. And like I said, I put a lot of things in my basketball analogy, and like I said, like, you know, it's like a winning team. You know, you have a coach, you have a person that's going to go out there and get the rebounds. You got somebody that's going to score. You got somebody that's a really good screener and passer. And throughout my life, I played on really good teams, and I played with really good players on teams that weren't so good, and I seen the difference. The difference was everybody perfected their role. And with having that understanding, when we're all working together, I feel like that's when barriers are going to be broken. That's when we get on the same page, because it's all the way from the bottom to the top. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So I'll be a big part of the puzzle, knowing that, you know, even though like I know politics, you know, people in politics, I ain't gonna say I know politics, but I'm understanding the importance that the politics have with the, you know, the community.
It's a system that's there, right? It has impact whether you like it or not. But
but you know.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show today and dropping a few gems, sharing some wisdom.
I appreciate you for having me, man.
Always good to chat.
Anytime, I'll come back, man.
Appreciate you.
Come back wiser. Read a couple political books, man, and I'm in the game.